and welcome back to Riley's on the Road.
We were in South Fork, Colorado for around 3 weeks.
Let's see what we did there.
It was 400 miles to South Fork, Colorado, where we stayed for the full-time family's Halloween Hullabaloo. This rally was 2 weeks long and absolutely awesome. There were so many friends there, old ones and new. The first night we pulled in fairly late, but right before dark. The next day we did some meet and greets and played some games, and that night we had a taco potluck.
We went with a bunch of families to a hot springs near Great Sand Dunes and brought our friend Lyric with us. It was super cold and rainy, but the pools were warm, so it was really nice. Ashton and I babysat some kids while their parents were in the adult area.
That night was karaoke. Gemma and I both did it. I did a duet to Church Bells by Carrie Underwood with my friend Lachlan and 2 group songs, one of which Melina was in. Gemma did a group song and sang quite a few songs with her friend Lindley.
You could have been down to this shit. Mike's man got his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my god, I'm just gonna shake.
We drove 3 hours to get to Mesa Verde National Park and saw some beautiful fall colors on the way. Mesa Verde is known for its cliff dwellings, built by the ancestral Pueblo people hundreds of years ago. We were here a couple years ago, but only saw the dwellings from afar, so this time we made sure to take a couple guided hikes into the dwellings. First, we went to Cliff Palace, the largest dwelling in the park, with 150 rooms. It was incredible to be so close, and you can almost feel the long-gone community. We had to climb down and up the steep cliffside to reach the dwelling, and you can still see ancient hand and footholds carved from use by the Pueblo people along the way. It's so cool to play I Spy here because if you look hard enough at almost any cliff wall, you'll find some sort of dwelling. Next, we took a guided hike to Balcony House. Once you get near the dwelling, you have to climb a 32-foot ladder to it, which is a little intimidating. It's substantially smaller than Cliff Palace, but such a unique experience. The ranger told us all about this dwelling, and it was awesome to get up close and personal with history. We had to climb through a tunnel and go up more ladders and steep stairs to get off the canyon wall. We stopped to see some more excavations in Cliff Palace from the opposite canyon wall. We also stopped to look at Square Tower House, which has the tallest building of all the cliff dwellings, standing at 4 stories tall. Mesa Verde is such a unique national park with rich history. A Hullabaloo tradition is tie-dyeing the rally shirts, and we got to participate this year.
We received a boo basket and traded Pokemon cards.
We played a big round of bingo with all the kids.
During that day, there was a Halloween pet costume contest. My friends and I were doing a mini group costume for Halloween, so I sewed Prince a costume to join us. He was the purple bunny monster from the second movie, and he won most unique in the contest. That afternoon, there was a chopped contest. Each team was given 3 ingredients they had to include in their dish, and 1 hour to do so. Gemma and I were both on our own teams. Our 3 ingredients were carrots, pumpkin puree, and chicken ramen. And yes, you had to use a chicken seasoning. Gemma was on a team with 2 friends, Lindley and Adeline. They made zombie brain brownies and pumpkin barbecue chicken ramen soup, each having all 3 ingredients, which they got to present to the judges. Gemma really enjoyed making it and had lots of fun, and my mom said it tasted fabulous. I was on a team with 4 of my friends. We made a pumpkin carrot cake with a theme of death in the graveyard. the ramen being the brain and the seasoning in the dye. We presented it to the judges, and when the winners were announced, we won Best Halloween Theme. It was so much fun, and the cake looked and tasted awesome in my opinion. That night, we had some more karaoke. One of the kids singing began singing a song we all knew the line dance to, so of course we did it. The dancing during rallies is absolutely amazing. The next day, Mr. Chris, one of the dads at the rally, hosted a teen finance talk for a couple hours. Having experience as a financial planner himself, he talked all about budgets, college, debt, credit cards, loans, investments, and more. It was super interesting, and I think both Melina and I learned something new.
That same day, we volunteered with a community haunted house the rally put on. Ashton helped with setup and some of the indoor activities, while I got all dressed up to be a scarer. My friend's mom, Miss Jessie, did an amazing job on my dead bride makeup, and it really pulled it all together. I stood outside in the graveyard like a ghost, and from what I heard, I was a pretty scary but well-liked part of the haunted house. It was really cold outside, so I went in for a mid-shift dance break before finishing my 2 hours.
The next morning was the kids' marketplace. I sold my crafts and even got some orders to make during the rest of the rally. Plus, we all sold some earrings. We each got chances to look around. As usual, it's amazing to see and support what everyone is selling. One day, my dad and I went out to shoot clays with a group of people from Hullabaloo. Although I've shot guns many times, it was my first time shooting clays and a shotgun. There was both a 20 gauge and a few 12 gauge shotguns. I started by shooting the 20. My first 5 shots I missed, then moved to the 12 where I made almost all of my shots. It was so much fun. My dad also got to shoot, and he enjoyed it just as much. While some others were using the shotgun, we went over and shot some other people's guns that they had brought, including a 22, a 9mm, a Celtic carbine, and a Mini 14, which was very cool. We're very grateful for the people who brought the guns.
We got all dressed up for a Halloween dance party and costume contest. Gemma hurt her ankle and borrowed some crutches, so she couldn't dance very well, but she tried her best. The costume contest was awesome. Everyone went to the front during their category so that everyone else could see and then vote. Ashlyn did a Minions group costume with her friends, and even the bunny made an appearance. I ended up winning Best Teen Costume, all thanks to my wonderful makeup artist. I've never ever thought I'd win a costume contest, but I'm so grateful for my supporters and so glad I got to wear that costume more than once because I really grew to love it. Then we danced the night away. Another fun activity we did was the Amazing Race. Everyone broke into teams and ran around completing a series of activities using clues. They had actual mini donkeys for one of the activities, which was crazy. Ashton and my team came in 6th place, but we all had fun. We helped put the donkeys away and afterward got treated to snow cones.
A couple afternoons had outdoor games, including tug-of-war and football, which was super fun.
For arts and crafts, teens painted jars or canvases and tweens made slime. Rieta and Gemma also painted some leftover canvases.
We got to play bingo with our friends.
Another one of the many activities at Hullabaloo was a fun little carnival. Mom and I volunteered to do different games, and there were lots of stations, like fishing and face painting. While we were in Colorado, we were in high elevation, so it was getting cold. We didn't actually get much snow until after Halloween. There were freezing temperatures every night, which isn't ideal for an RV.
The last night of the Hullabaloo was ending ceremonies, which included a raffle with all the tickets earned, s'mores, and handing out community service certificates for the work done during the haunted house and such, and generally was quite bittersweet. It also was Halloween night, so we all got dressed up in our costumes and went trick-or-treating. Grandma had a pretty fairy costume, Brietta was a fearsome Jedi Knight, I was a minion in my group costume, and Melina was a gorily beautiful dead bride. It was so much fun trick-or-treating with friends in the campground, even though it was a brisk 30 degrees outside. And since it was pretty much just the people attending Hullabaloo, we all got to go around multiple times. We ended the night by having a lovely time sorting and trading candy amongst ourselves. The next morning was the donut send-off, and then many of those who stayed after the rally went to Les U2 Go Farm. A few facts about it: the farm was started on a 4-generation ranch with 20 head. They now have 75 milkers that are milked 2 times a day, and they make around 100 pounds of cheese every week. Our big group took a tour, where we got to say hi to the goats, then learn about the process, from milking to making the cheese, to aging, to cutting and packaging. Afterwards, we got to try it, and it was very good. They had all kinds of cheese, soft, hard, feta, and all different flavors. That night, a ton of us teens went down the road for pizza, which was awesome. It was also Miss Jessie's birthday, so they threw a party. The next day, we went to Great Sand Dunes National Park and brought Lachlan with us. We rented sandboards first, then went to the visitor center and learned some about the park. It's a pretty interesting park. The sand starts pretty drastically, from the high desert to towering sand dunes to mountains. We then headed to the dunes. It was a bit of a walk to get to the actual dunes from the parking lot. We met up with more friends there and started going down the dunes. We had rented 2 sleds and 1 stand-up board. First, you wax the bottom of either one so it would slide down the sand, then you slid down. It was so much fun.
Wildlife on the dunes.
Lachlan, Kenzie, and I decided to brave the dunes and go all the way to the top. And my dad came with us. It was 750 feet up, in some places very steep, and in sand, which makes walking 5 times harder. It was super nice though. We definitely had to cheer each other on, but we made it. The pictures don't do justice how steep some of the hills were, especially one of the last ones was crazy. The view from the top though, it really was spectacular. We made sand angels and ran down from the top to the steep incline, which we then slid down. Lachlan and Kenzie crashed pretty good at the bottom though. We had brought boards all the way up, so we got to ride most of the way down. Meanwhile, while we went up, the rest of my family went around to the slopes closer to the bottom, and had a great time enjoying the dunes with the other families there. Once we all got back together again, we slowly headed back to the parking lot while sliding down the dunes. During the trip, we all had tons of fun sliding, running down, and crashing pretty epically if I do say so myself. On the way out, we stopped at the visitor center again to get Junior Ranger badges. Then we went to the hot springs again, which was so nice after the sand dunes all day. Those hot springs were so great to be able to go to, and the sunset was gorgeous. One morning we woke up and the ground was coated in beautiful snow. So of course we went out all bundled up and headed down the road to go sledding. It was a beautiful walk and we had tons of fun sledding down the hill. The girls were sledding some more. My friend Lachlan and I made snow angels. And a little later, Devin and I got into an epic and very competitive snowball fight, which was an absolute blast. When the rest of the group was done, they headed back, but I stayed to brave a 4 versus 4 snowball fight with some other teams for another hour.
We really enjoyed our time at Aspen Ridge. It's a great private park owned by former full-time RVers who just get this life. We paid for a monthly spot, but ended up leaving early to get out of the Rockies before a major snowstorm. The girls and I visited Mesa Verde National Park in September of 2020, but it was mostly closed due to COVID. so we made sure to get close tours this time, and they were so worth it. The RV park is in a little town, and we were really busy with activities, so the only times we ate out were when we were on our way to or from the national parks. David and Melina, however, did visit a few eateries on their 2-day 800-mile round trip to Cheyenne.
Hullabaloo was amazing.
See you next time on Riley's on Their Own. Bye!